Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Crews in western KELOLAND have been preparing for the first snowstorm of the season. Some areas in the Black Hills have already seen more than a foot of snow.
Authorities urge everyone in the area not to travel if they don't need to, slow down, and give snowplows space on the road.
When you see plow trucks out, just be in mind to stay back a little bit. It's hard for us to see behind us and stuff like that, so if you see us moving, just please give us the time to get out of your way, because we're trying to make it easy for you to get to your place.
Stay with KELOLAND News and KELOLAND.com through the winter storm, and keep a look out for changing weather conditions on our KELOLAND weather app.
You know, we're talking wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour or more as we continue to follow the rain and, of course, the snow across western South Dakota. KELOLAND Live Doppler HD. You know, we've been forecasting total precipitation amounts, just looking at the liquid precipitation of 2 to 3.5 inches. And, you know, some spots may even get a little more than that. And then we have the general showers and thunderstorms across parts of eastern South Dakota. We'll get a break in the action here and even see some sunshine as we do hit the afternoon hours, and for some of us, even later this morning, we could have some sunshine. But for today, winter storm warnings continue for the hills of western South Dakota. 6 inches to 18 inches or more can be expected. And there's a look at the wind advisories and the high wind warnings that we have across the area, as temperatures today will range from the 30s and 40s in western South Dakota to the 60s in central and eastern KELOLAND. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Well, it wasn't snow, but something different in the sky that caught people's attention Monday night. Randy Halverson took this photo of the northern lights near Kennebec in central South Dakota.
This isn't the first time he's taken photos of the northern lights, but he says the solar cycle needed to create northern lights visible in South Dakota hasn't been as active the past few years. You can find a link to some of Halverson's photos in a KELOLAND.com original on our website. South Dakota State Representative Taffy Howard has formally announced that she is challenging Dusty Johnson, the state's lone U.S. congressman, in next year's Republican primary. Howard will try to capitalize on a shift within the Republican Party that is largely based on loyalty to former President Donald Trump.
She has positioned herself to the political right of Johnson, a popular incumbent who has held the seat for 3 years. Howard has echoed Trump's baseless claims of widespread voter fraud and has criticized Johnson for voting to certify the results of the 2020 presidential election. Advocates for legalizing recreational marijuana in South Dakota are trying for a second time to legalize cannabis possession and cultivation for adults through a ballot initiative. South Dakotans for Better Marijuana Law said it would launch a signature gathering campaign in the coming days after the Secretary of State approved a ballot initiative proposed for circulation Tuesday.
The group has less than a month to collect nearly 17,000 signatures from South Dakota voters to meet a deadline to place the issue on next year's ballot. The state Supreme Court is still weighing the fate of a constitutional amendment that would have legalized cannabis for adults.
When turning to social media, it's important to know where the information is coming from. SDSU researchers surveyed students about their social media use during the January 6 events at the Capitol to see where they were getting their information from.
They're using this research to educate the public on the importance of knowing where their information is coming from and also how news is impacted through these platforms.
It wasn't just the people watching, it was the people doing the actions that day who were posting to social media. They had videos, they had pictures, and so this is an event that really was intertwined with social media from the very beginning.
And without social media, viewers wouldn't have gotten an inside look at the news immediately.
That is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at that winter weather and even some rain with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
Yes, lots to talk about. Wind forecast. Let's look at that, how this changes through the day. We've had a fairly steady, strong wind in eastern South Dakota out of the east or southeast, and that's blowing in here yet through late morning. You can see the winds clocked here. We're projecting 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Rapid City, and that's going to be cold and some snow in the air with that. So that's not going to help traveling. Sioux Falls will be strong south winds, and then we'll finish up the afternoon. See how that counterclockwise circulation flow comes up into northeast South Dakota. So most of the region this evening will have a west wind, and it'll be blowing in over 40 miles per hour, but not much rain or snow as we wrap up the day. Here's how it plays out on Futurecast. You'll see here through mid-morning, we've got another batch trying to go west to Sioux Falls. Now, right along and ahead of that, that's probably when we're going to get our warmest temperatures in Sioux Falls and a chance to bounce into the 60s for a short time. But those thunderstorms, as they lift north of Sioux Falls, a couple of them could be severe around noon in Watertown and kind of that general area between Aberdeen and Watertown. Meanwhile, the west, that's snow and wind and 34 and rapid, heavy snow, Sturgis, Spearfish. We think several inches still on the way, and it looks like tonight things beginning to clear a little bit. It's going to be a chilly forecast, too, once we start looking at these overnight lows here the next couple of nights in Sioux Falls. 30s, I think frost is possible tomorrow night. And if not, then it might be a Saturday morning deal on that. Nice numbers, though, for highs for the weekend. We get back in the 60s. So after this storm blows through and the precipitation with it, farmers will get a chance to get back out in the fields with some drier weather into the weekend. Aberdeen, too, note the 34 there on Friday night and also Saturday night. I think Pierre will be in the same situation there. A lot of the moisture will be today. And once we clear that out, then things are looking a little bit better. Rapid City, after all this moisture, and boy, a lot of it, 60-degree weather and nice sunshine for the weekend. More coverage at KELOLAND.com, and have yourself a great day.